Hello. Today, I want to share with you a process that's changed my life, and I have been talking about it, and I've been rephrasing all of my wording and just live more authentically. I was in the hospital a month ago um, because of a colonoscopy mishap. They took out some polyps, and so they said that it's probably going to bleed for a little bit. I didn't bleed for a little bit. I bled a lot, so much that I had to go into the emergency room. I contemplate death. And I know that I'm going to live, but then I ask, how am I going to live after this? And I was drawn to this before with a man named BJ Miller, and he helps people in the dying process. And he says that when people are actually diagnosed with death, they start to live. And so he has you questioning what you're going to do and what you aren't going to do. And if you only had a year to live. And so every time I'm in the hospital, I always think about this and I journal about it. I'm like, Matt, when I get out of this, how am I going to live? What am I going to do? What am I not going to do? And so some of those things that I said was, I'm going to tell people how much I love them. I'm going to live more authentically. I'm not going to hold back so much. I'm not going to be so overwhelmed. I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to live with guilt. I'm going to forgive. And then some of the things like taking trips, seeing my family more, and then really just letting people know how much I appreciate them. Another odd thing, though, is I would go watch more movies. I love watching movies, and I'm always multitasking when I'm watching a movie at home. So I really love to go to the movie theater. And there's a whole story of like me being younger, where I couldn't go to the movie theaters until a lot later, and so I really treasure that. And I really like to watch movies with people I love. So I do this with like a year, and then 6 months, and then like a month, and then a day. After I got out of the hospital, I went home and I was able to catch a live session of a book club that I am doing with Tracee Stanley. And she's known for the deep rest. And in this live, on this book club, it's called the Luminous Self. She does the exact same practice, only she does it in a little bit of a different way. So talk about synchronicity, right? So she has you putting in a column saying do and do not. And then she has you pausing and she only gives you a certain amount of time to do it. And then she gets you to 1 minute. And in the 1 minute, what are you going to do? So in that 1 minute, I said, be still, laugh, smile, thankful, and then savor, like in savoring the moment. And this last year, I've been working a lot on my foods and this inflammation diet. And in that program, it's really taught me my relationship with food. And so when I eat, I chew now and I savor all the flavors and what I get to eat. And so that is my do word. And then she takes you through another process that if this was your do word, how are you going to like route your life around it so that you can live this word, this intention, this purpose? It's pretty cool, right? And then she has this whole like mind mapping thing in which now I don't really do like a schedule, but I listen to the whispers of my soul. I take auspicious action and I know what my auspicious goals are, what community I want to connect with, the obstacles that may be in the way, and then how I'm going to have devotion for the world and for myself and really taking care of myself. So I want to share with you the book club because she has it on video, but you have to have access to it. So I'm going to put it on here in the share screen so that we can watch it and do it together. I'm actually going to do it again because right now is a week of strong energies in which things are closing, so new doors open. It's the last new moon of the year, and then it's the 12/12 portal, and it's during the season of light. And as we transition to the next season for the next year, I want you to get to your do word. So this may be your mantra. This could be your word of the year, or your life word. Change it when you feel you need it. And so I'm gonna have her guide you like she guided me and all these other people through this practice so you can get to your do word, so you know how to do your mind mapping and live a more authentic life, being the more luminous self, because that's what her book is called. And if you like it, Join her mailing list, and then you can be in the community too, and then you'll have access to this. And it's absolutely free. Some things she charges for, like as in session special classes, but a lot of it is free. As opposed to it. Oh, you can pause this, go get a notebook, make yourself comfortable. Okay, get something to drink too if you need to. Okay, so now, Anne Amos, Dark Man of Sin. I didn't read some of the original practice. So the original practice, I'm just going to say this one more time. Some of you have done. I see a few of you who have done this original practice that we've done together at some point, like 20 years ago. So the original practice is actually called Papa Purusha. That's the original name of the practice. Somehow, I don't know how, but that name was translated when I received the practice as the Dark Man of Sin, which truthfully I didn't really appreciate, even though I did do the practice. And the practice was that you were burning a creature that was a black creature, right? So you can imagine why, for me, I feel like I want all practices to be accessible, for all practices to not be triggering. And the practice, that's where the original practice came from before I shifted it into the next. So I hope that's clear. Yeah. Okay. So hopefully you were able to do some of the reading. And if you weren't able to do the reading, that's totally fine. We're going to do this next practice that was actually given to me by a friend. His name is Charlie Morley, and he is a lucid dreaming teacher and former Buddhist monk. And this practice is, in my opinion, one of the most powerful practices that I've had over time as a way to shift behavior. And it is a practice of impermanence. So if you've read the chapter, you probably already know kind of what's coming in this practice, right? When we think about practices of impermanence, what that means is that these are practices where we are contemplating our death, right? So this can be very triggering. It can be very uncomfortable. And, I can already start to see some body language. So I know, and I've been one who's been on the other side of this and been like, whoa, okay. So if at any point you feel like, oh, I want to opt out of this practice right now, for any reason, you can just pause and turn off the microphone so you don't need to hear the practice and just sit with yourself. If you feel like you want to listen to the practice but not do it, that's also fine. It's a short practice. It's going to take us less than 5 minutes. What's important in this practice is that you have your notebook open and your pen in your hand, because we will do a visualization or contemplation, and then you'll write. And then I'll ask you to stop writing, which is really important that you stop writing but the moment I ask you to stop writing. And then we'll go back into the practice. And we'll do that a couple of times until we get to the end. Does that feel okay for everybody? Okay. When you feel ready, make sure you have your notebook, your pen, and your comfortable seat. And when you find your comfortable seat and have all those things, let's just take a moment to kind of let the body sway. Let the body sway. Maybe make some circles in your seat. Just listen to your own body of how it might be if you want to move in this moment. And then if you were making circles, you can let it go in the opposite direction. Slowly go ahead and come to center. Maybe you want to open up the heart and exhale around the spine. And just find your way into a little bit more movement and breath for the next just 3 or 4 breaths. Just listen to your own body. And then when you feel ready, just allow
this invitation of inner stillness to come through you, knowing that even though that your body might still be moving, you can still begin to bring the invitation of inner stillness in. And eventually the outer and the inner begin to align, and you allow yourself to be still. You allow your eyes to close if that feels comfortable for you. And you begin to once again notice and remember the beauty of the breath as it moves in and out. So this practice requires us to imagine that we have just received the news that we have 1 year left to live. And as you're in that awareness, you're going to open your eyes and create 2 columns in your notebook, a column of do and a column of do not do. And please now, just with this imagining of 1 year left to live, just begin to write all the things that you would do with 1 year left to live and all the things that you would stop doing. So in the do column, you're writing all the things you would do. And in the other do not do column, all the things that you would stop doing. So please stop writing. Allow your eyes to close and your gaze to soften once again. And please just take 3 deep breaths in through the center of the chest and out through the center of the chest. You have 6 months left to live. Please open your eyes and begin to write do and not do. Please pause, close your eyes, stop writing. Take 2 deep breaths. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Exhale. You have 3 months left to live. Please begin to write. Please pause. You have 1 month left to live. Please stop writing. 1 month left to live. Going back now to your do with me. Please pause. Stop writing. You have 1 week left to live. Please begin to write. Please pause. You have 1 day left to live. Please begin to write. Please pause. Stop writing. You have 1 minute left to live. Please begin to write. Please stop writing. Take a moment to notice now the words in your do column at the very bottom from the 1 minute left to live. Notice the resistance to continue writing. That's all I'm going to say. So look at what you have there in your last column. Is there a word that really resonates with you? That if you could pull this word forward into now, instead of waiting until the last minute of your life to start living this way, to start being this way, if you pull this forward, is there a word, is there a theme that you could pull forward into right now? That if you did everything from this place, that your life would shift in a way that you are living in a way that is life affirming right now, as opposed to waiting until the last minute. So share your words. Thank you. I'm going to read some of them if you don't know. Gratitude, look for the light. Be gratitude, stay open. Dance, say thank you. Love, surrender, breathe deeply, breathe. Be lit, divine, smile, love, and breathe, love, live, I love you. Hug, gratitude, be still, say thank you, pray, breathe deeply, love, and say thank you. Lay, grace, gratitude, open arms and heart, and say I love you. Love, grace, and gratitude. Love and grace. Savor. Be with special people. Astavakra. Trust and let go. Accept, giggle, embrace. Savor the love. Making sure my husband and kids know I love them. Nestle in the void. Hold my kids close. Be here, be true, be kind. Express love and gratitude. So can we pull this forward into the right now? What would happen if we pulled it forward into now? So I was taught a practice a long time ago. It was introduced to me by a woman named Isabel de Soleil, who was an assistant for one of my teachers at the time. And we began to use this practice called the mind map, which I've used for a really long time. And I would say the mind map is magical. The mind map is a practice of magnetizing what it is that you desire into your life because you know what it is that you want to offer to the world. So the way that we do this, I'm going to just show you the mind map, and you can draw this in your notebook, and then we can start to work on it together. Okay. So what I love about the practice of Sri Vidya is that we really connect with what is auspicious. We connect with what is life affirming, what is joyful, what is connecting, what is supportive. And so the way you would start this mind map is that you would start with the do word. So whatever your do word is that you just shared, some of you might have more than one do word that you shared in the chat, but you can place the do word in the center of the center circle with the date, right? The reason why you're writing the date is because this is a daily practice. This practice will take you probably less than 5 to 10 minutes, or it can take you longer if you want to devote more time to it. So your do word, let's say in my case, my do word is love, right? So my do word is love. What the mind map is asking you to do, and the mind map is also this, it's also called radiant thinking, right? Is that hopefully we've done some sort of practice, some sort of pause in the morning, which is why this practice is best done in the morning, where we have received a whisper of the soul, right? It's possible that in this morning's meditation or today's meditation that we just did, maybe there's something that came through to you as a knowing, as a whisper, as an epiphany, as an insight. So think about your practice, maybe this morning if you did practice, or maybe you went on a walk earlier, or did a yoga nidra, or maybe it was the practice that we just did. Is there something that came through to you as an insight, a whisper of the soul? And so then you place that in this bubble here, the whisper of the soul. So give yourself a moment to remember the whisper of the soul. The reason why this bubble is here is because all too often we receive these insights, we receive epiphanies, we receive knowing. And when we get into the doing of the day, we forget them because they're so subtle. This is a way to make something that is really subtle that comes through to you in a practice or a walk or whatever your sacred practice is, and make it come into the material world in a different way. And so the whisper of the soul. One of the things that I know about practice is that we have to take care of ourselves. We haven't been taking care of ourselves because the overculture has not taught us that taking care of ourselves is something that is our birthright to do. It's actually a luxury or something you have to earn. So here's this bubble of daily self-devotion. What is the daily self-devotion that you are going to choose, let's say, for today? If you already did it, your daily self-devotion, you can put it in this daily self-devotion bubble. And it needs to be connected to the center word, right? So maybe one of my favorite practices of self-devotion is the practice of Abhyanga, which is a warm oil massage. And in this Vata season right now, depending on where you are in the world, it is a beautiful practice to do. And what would happen if you practice this warm oil massage, and as you were massaging yourself, you were repeating the do word to yourself as you were massaging? And maybe if your do word was breathe, that you were actually doing the action of breathing deep, right? So think about how the do word can really inform a daily self-devotion practice for you. All right. Now we get to the interesting part. And I'm just realizing that I can see my cursor, but you probably can't see my cursor on this thing. So let's go to the right hand bubble that says obstacles and resistance. Thank you. And just begin to be really truthful with yourself in this moment. What obstacles or resistances are you experiencing? And those could be obstacles from practical life, right? And they can be the resistance that you're experiencing to even connecting to the do word or connecting to doing any daily self-devotion. So what obstacles and resistance is showing up for you right now? Just write those down. Okay. Go down to the auspicious goals. Do you have any auspicious goals? And when we say auspicious goals, those goals are life affirming. They are goals that are going to bring you joy, that are going to allow you to feel held and supported and free. They are not goals that are going to make you feel trapped or small. They are goals that make you feel expansive, as though you are doing what you came to this earth to do. Maybe you have one big goal that you want to do over the next year or 3 years or 5 years. Just go ahead and place that goal in the bubble. Don't be afraid to name the goal. This is another way of taking something from a subtle thought to moving it into the material world. Now begin to just take a notice, a look at the obstacles and the resistance. Are there any obstacles or resistance that you are experiencing as it relates to coming in contact with your goals? You might want to add the obstacle and resistance that you're experiencing around achieving your goal. Is your goal connected to your do work? How can you infuse your auspicious goal with your do work? And now we have two bubbles left. The auspicious actions is really important because this is how everything gets activated. So the auspicious actions, we need auspicious actions to help counteract the obstacles and resistance. So just put a couple of things in your auspicious action bubble that you think are antidotes for the obstacles and resistance that you might be experiencing. Now, let's take a look at the auspicious goals. And remember that this practice that we're doing, this mind mapping practice, is a daily practice. So is there one auspicious action that you could take today in service of your auspicious goal? So don't think about this as biting off a huge chunk. Just one little thing that you can do towards your auspicious goal. Everything is in alignment with the intent you were. One or two more minutes here to just think about these auspicious actions to resolve the obstacles and resistance and to move towards auspicious goals. And lastly, you'll come back to that center and you'll look at this last bubble of community care. How is it that you can take, or what is it that you can take into your community that is the essence of that new work? And when we think about community, I think about community as being you and two other people. It doesn't need to be 100 people. It doesn't need to be 5 people. How can you share with your community the essence of your work? Maybe you've already done it. You've shared it in the chat. So everything is radiating out from the center do work. Your obstacles and resistance have to move through the do word. They have to move through the quality, let's say for me, of love in order to move through to the auspicious action that is going to help resolve it. Right? And then I also have to remember the whisper of the soul. Did the whisper of the soul ask me or direct me in a certain way? Does that need to be translated into the auspicious action? Right? Because sometimes the whisper of the soul might say, call so and see if they can help you with this project. So this is the daily practice. The way that I do this is I buy a big uh, pad that looks like this, it's like a sketch pad. And I only use this for my mind mapping so that I have my mind map here. And then in the morning, I can also use the back of that page for any pre-writing that comes after, right? Then what you can do is with this do word and this mind map for the day, let's say if you work at a desk, you can put this up on your desk so that you can see it. And you can leave it out somewhere where you can see it. So as you're moving through your house or you're, you know, coming through from work, you can take a look and see how did I do this one action, this auspicious action in service of my goal today? Did I connect with someone in my community today? Did I listen to the whisper of my soul? Have I addressed these obstacles and resistance, or is resistance still sitting there because I haven't done anything to counteract it? And what about my daily self-devotion? So there's a way that you can always check in on this. So now I'm going to stop sharing the chart because I'm pretty sure that there's going to be questions. So are there any questions about the mind map? If you have a question or a curiosity or even just a share.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing now. And this is the second time that I've done this. The first time, I told you that was like a month ago, and you get to see things in another light doing it again. So I hope that you come back to this if you need to review it. This time around, I realized really more just going deeper. Also, a lot of the obstacles that I face is not really procrastination, but it's actually multitasking and just doing too much. So I scale that back and really this time around too, the groups that I want to go towards because I want to, my word is savor every moment. And it's still the same. So how do I savor it more? And it's through people and it's through the interactions and through the experience. And so I like to do it with people. And so now I'm going to focus probably more on the groups part, the community. Because I don't want to do things alone. And that's on my do and do not list. This time around, I had a lot of more things I wrote down faster because it's my second time around, of what I want to do more of. And I want to document a little bit more so others that are around Isabella, she can remember me. And I want to leave a legacy and I want to make an impact. I just want to really be still and be more present. And one of the things I keep doing that is not being present is multitasking. Multitasking. And I used to love this about myself, and I thought it was a special skill, but it's not. It's not helping me to savor the moment because I'm just doing things frantically and I'm not sitting with it and really enjoying what I get to do and being present to it and just taking in every moment. So I hope that this helps you in this next year. I would love to hear from you how it has helped you. And if this helps you so much and you feel called to share it with others, please do. And follow Tracee. It's Tracee Stanley. And she is on my resources page in my website. So anyways, I hope that this has been effective for you. And I look forward to connecting with you more so that we can savor more of these moments and these experiences and make our life more rich and be more of our luminous self, living our authenticity, living our truth, remembering who we are, remembering our original self, so that we can come back to spirit, come back home to ourselves and our head, hearts, and home. And may every year after this just get better and better as you savor it more and that everything is more rich in your life.